You know what's toxic for the West besides fast food and increasingly rampant technological integration? The us versus them mentality. So let me tell you something about the news in this country, in America. And if you see everybody else is becoming as crazy as America, because American news and news sources are going everywhere. Every news source is going corporate now. Because in America, the news is corporate, meaning people make money off the news. So they sensationalize the news to keep you watching. In a place like England, the news is like subsidized, so you got the BBC, you know what I'm saying? It's government subsidized. They don't have as much of a reason to dupe you into having to watch more news. Case in point, bro, one day, my mom, she's about to go to bed, we're saying goodnight, and she tells me, oh, I heard this on the news. The new thing they're doing is, it was so ridiculous, I don't even remember exactly what it was, but it had something to do with like drugging people or something, right? And then I just heard, I'm like, what? Like, they're doing, I'm like, bro, who are they? And I was thinking to myself, the news is so toxic, because who are these random they that are spiking people's drinks or doing whatever? It's not just a they. You can't just us and them that. That's freaking sociopaths and psychopaths doing that. And it got me thinking about how toxic the news is. Because everything on the news is us and them. If you don't realize it, bro, most of the time when you watch the news, it's right back when you get home from work. Think about it. You have a hard day at work. You try to be good to people all day. You're finally home. Then you walk in the house, you turn on the news, you get to sit down, and you feel like a good, honest American. And the news people know this. That's why they put the news on at fucking 5 and 6, right when you get home from work. So you feel good. You feel like you did a good job. You feel like a good person when you watch it. So then you turn it on, right? Then every single story, I shit you not, bro. Like, I'm not gonna disclose where I live, but I guess I live. Maybe I have already. But like, if you know, you know. I live not in a very crime-infested area, but you know, in close proximity to one. So all the news all the time is,
oh, someone did this. Oh, someone did that. Oh, someone did this. Oh, someone did that. Oh, someone shot somebody. Someone killed somebody. Somebody stabbed. Somebody over.
Like, it's all just bad. And it'll have the good, honest American thinking that everything in the country is going to shit. When it's not, bro. Like, people think, my mom always says the world is going to hell. She says that almost every day. The world is going to hell. And I'm thinking, damn, bro, the world is really going to hell because the people that's in charge of the world want niggas to think the world is going to hell. So then everybody in a lower vibration, so everybody in fear and everybody easier to control. I mean, if you didn't know, now you know. That's why everything is so fearsome.
You don't want to miss out on spring break of your life, do you? You don't want to miss out on having fun with your family, do you? You don't want to miss out on getting a girlfriend, do you? So buy this, buy that, buy that.
Everything is marketed to us based on fear and desire and what we're supposed to want in the world and shit like that. And it's all feelings of lack. And that's why everything is lacking in society today. Everything going wrong in society today. Because the thing about like duality, it's everywhere. But if you let it infest your being like a lot of people do, it'll make you feel all over the place. That's why so many people feel all over the place. It's because of duality. The news reinforces duality constantly. It constantly is showing terrible stories to good, hardworking people that, if anything, need to pick me up after a hard day at work. That's why nobody be watching the fucking news now, except for like older folks. But yeah, and then another thing it does is act like these deviants and stuff are like different from us. Different. Because you're a good, hardworking, honest American. You're sitting home at your couch or whatever, enjoying yourself, taking care of the kids. You feel good. But no, they're the deviants of society. But we're all part of the society. The deviants of tomorrow could be watching the news today. And that's another way the news reinforces duality. Because we are the ones, as a whole, as collective consciousness, we both fear and worship ourselves at the same time. Everything people look at Instagram. That's why I got off socials. You feel me? Because everything people do, they're either worshiping themselves or they fear disapproval, so they do that. Everything is so full of lack these days. Everything is so full of that dualistic nature that's tearing. It's literally tearing people apart, bro. The thing about duality. It's two equally forces. Every action has an opposite reaction. So if this is going this way, that's going that way. What happens? You get torn apart. So what am I trying to say by talking about how the West is crumbling because of an us and them mentality? I'm trying to say the collective consciousness in the first world is suffering because it's constantly reinforcing duality. It's constantly reinforcing fear, lack, desire, everything terrible. And it's meant to, so people who know better or people who are aware of what they're doing can manipulate you. But, you know, at the end of the day, they're taking advantage of human nature all the time, because you watching this, if you're a great Snow Blunt Talk viewer, you're probably like,
Hell yeah, man. Get him, Kyle.
but if you're just like a random person on YouTube, you may or may not give a shit about what the news do. Like,
you know what? Yeah, I mean, okay, I just want to go to work and go to...
I'm not one of those people who are like, you a bot. I'm not one of those people. I understand that most people, they genuinely just want to stay up out the way. That's a natural human desire, bro. Like, just to want to stay up out the way, not really bother nobody. That's not being meek or being weak. That's just a general human desire. If anything, people should be celebrated for going against the grain, because it takes more than that. It's, in my opinion, for most people. For me, it's harder to go with the grain. For me, it's harder to go with most people. It's easier for me to do my own thing. But for most people, it's easier to go with the grain, to go with everyone else, to go with the crowd. It's a natural human thing. It evolved from us needing to survive, so we'd follow the crowd, because the crowd survived as opposed to the individual. But that's the thing. We're not out here fighting for our lives anymore, except we are, because motherfucker. See, that's the thing. People or fucking cheetahs and leopards and shit used to be playing with our like actual bodies and shit. These niggas, these elites are playing with our mind, so it's even more dangerous, because all there is the mind, is consciousness. That is way more important than this body. So we need to rid ourselves of those survival tactics that were used for our body and start sharpening the tools that are be used to enhance collective consciousness. And the first way to do that is to stop this duality, because with all this duality and lack of society, we're either fearing ourselves or worshiping ourselves. Neither of those will end up in anything good. We just need to love ourselves.